What's he doing? Let's give him a bit of space. Maybe he'll come to us. Well, hello, if you're tuning in live, welcome along. We will do our proper intro in a second or two. I'm hoping we're not having any problems with Harris, who's just disappeared up the hill behind me, but we'll catch up with him in a second. So let's do the intro. Good morning. Oh, hang on. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome along to Crighton Pet Services live dog walk. We've got the wax jacket on, and just in time, buddy, just before we started to call the fire brigade and alert the search parties. Hey. Excuse me. Chip! This way, buddy. We have to start Tuesdays and Wednesdays with a bit of a disclaimer about, about Harris and Juno's love affair. Big dog, thank you for tuning in. I'm looking forward to some jokes as our session progresses, because we're wet and we're miserable and we could do with being cheered up a little bit. Juno, Edith. Right. There we go. Where are you? There we go, Charlie boy. You're getting some love on the channel already. Yes, you are. There you go, bud. There you go. The rest of you keep coming. Come on. Keep coming. Let's just try and keep it down to a 9 out of 10 in terms of energy, guys. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, you join us on Wednesday. The rain is on. It's a bit miserable. It's a bit muddy. It's maybe not quite as bad as what we had yesterday. Charlie's maybe a good indication of the rest of the session that we've had. We've been out for about 45 minutes so far, and we've been mostly on sort of nice, wet, clean grass. It's a good way for them to get their paws and bellies nicely cleaned after we've been through the mud. So we're hopefully going to try and stay a bit clean and dry. But as always, our in-love pair, they're going to drive us a bit wild, I think. I think they're going to drive us wild on this return leg of the journey. A couple of other points. So we've got Chip off the lead. Hey, buddy boy. Doing great. Hopefully not steaming back all the way to the van. Hopefully enjoying the walk back and just being with the rest of the team. But what we found on previous occasions when Chip's been on this long line, the same as Ruby's on just now, and it's quite interesting, he's kind of doing it just now. So he'll charge ahead as if we're going straight back towards the van, and then just not really kind of have the same response rate as what we've had on the sort of journey out when we've kind of walked this direction. So we'll see how he gets on. He's got free rein, he's got all the decisions to himself, and he's very good at this. So checking in, and then when I ask him to, just coming back. And of course, with that, we get a little biscuit from time to time, just to reinforce the nice behaviours and good stuff. Charlie, out of there please. Good puppy. You have stayed very clean. So we'd like that to continue, especially because yesterday I got a bit of a telling off of a Chips family. You're a stinky buddy, weren't you? You're a bit of a stinker. And early in the walk, before we had gone live, he was, yesterday was his first day of total freedom, no lead. And just so happened to the place that we were in, good boy, good puppy, the place we were in, there was some fox poo knocking around, and he found it straight away, rolling in it, having the time of his life. And then of course we all had to suffer the consequences of that in the van and then back in his house. Despite being cleaned, he was still a bit pongy, so we'll hopefully avoid those scenarios for Charlie, for Chip and for everybody else, because it's not so pleasant. And I was saying to all the owners get an update at the end of each session. I was saying to them last night, I said, when I get the smell of it on my hands after cleaning one of the dogs, this way, so after we clean them, and it's on me in any capacity, I then can't smell if it's on anyone else. So it becomes incredibly difficult to manage that effectively. Ruby! And Ruby's a good sign that we should maybe try and avoid this part on the right, because there's probably smells there that we don't want the dogs engaging in. So we'll just turn around and we'll go back up this side a little bit. There we go. Right. Thank you for putting up with my little intro there, my rant. Such beautiful countryside that we have. Well, I agree, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? And I don't think this is necessarily, this greyness, this drizzle, the cold temperatures, it's not showing it off as well as it might. So the dogs love it. It's fantastic for them. It's maybe not Instagram worthy today, but we'll see how we get on. We'll see how we go. This little patch here, we had an issue with it earlier. They were all sniffing and licking the mud and chomping away at it. I watched quite a fascinating programme on the BBC about badgers digging up worms and eating them, and then the foxes in the middle of the night hang back about 20 metres behind them, and then they eat the ones that have been left over, and they just follow each other along this kind of terrain all day, all night. And I didn't know that badgers ate worms. I just thought that was a thing from Peter Rabbit. If anyone's got young kids, you'll know what I'm talking about there. But yeah, it was quite fascinating to watch with the night vision camera, watching the badger up ahead, and then the fox 20 metres back, hanging back, waiting till the badger moved on, and then coming and getting all the leftover scraps. Fascinating how nature works in that capacity. Very fascinating. Just as well there's no badgers here, isn't there? Because our little dachshund, if you're not aware, dachshund, dachshund, however you want to pronounce it, it means badger hunter in German. So there we go. There's a bit of useless trivia for you today. If you're just joining us again, apologies for the barking. Our two pups here are in love with each other, and Juno, with the getting her tail wagged in her face here, she can only play with her volume on full blast. So if you hang around long enough, they'll calm down. But if you hang around even longer, they'll start up again. And she's barking at him because she wants him, Harris here, to chase her. So anyway, there we go. There we go. What was I saying? Hello. Oh, the chat is blowing up. The chat is blowing up. Unfortunately, guys, let me spin this round. I don't know if it's obvious, but it's raining quite heavily and my screen is covered in rain and I can't properly see the comments that well, so keep them coming. Juno, hey, hey, hey. Keep them coming, and I'll try and read out what I can. That big dog, you're from Australia. That's interesting. Which part? I have family, extended family, friends. I don't know how you put it. You know how your mum has aunties and uncles that aren't really your aunties and uncles. Well, we've kind of got that. And is it Ballarat? Just outside Melbourne, I think. So I've not been there, but my my extended family have been here. Let's just zoom in on the dog's loving life. Some nice healthy play. It's loud and it's intense, but it's not fighting. And you might not get to see this very often. We're just going to stop it there because Edith's a bit tiny. Juno, hey. Juno, hi. Thank you. Right, Ruby, you're next. Are you free? Are you free? There we go. There we go. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Nico, I think it's beautiful. Oh, well, that's very kind. The landscape speaks to you. Well, it is in my heart in a massive way. A massive part about having my own business was getting to work outside, and what better way to do it than spend it with these crazy dogs, right? Harris and Juno, they just can't be in open space without having this play style. If we were on a path, if we were in sort of a little bit tighter confines, they just would switch that part of their brain off altogether. But when they're in the open, Chip, this side, bud. I'm going to see how we've just got a little path here. I'm going to see if this helps them to tune out a little bit, because people will use this path. They'll be following all the skin sloths of the people that have walked here before. They'll be able to tell how recently people were walking here, if there was dogs, if they were male, if they were female, all that kind of thing. So they'll follow their nose a little bit. Edith, good girl, good puppy. Good, you guys. Chip's a way to make friends. Great body language from the other dog. Morning! And we usually just give them 3 seconds. 3 seconds, guys! And then call them back. There's plenty of time for them to do what they need to do from a social aspect. Smell, identify the dog, see if they know it, see if they've seen it before, and then we can move on. And it's usually before play kicks in. And of course, if the dogs don't like each other, it's hopefully before they start taking exception to each other, being in each other's space. This wee Frenchie we saw 10 minutes ago, a happy wee pup. Hi again. Hello, Trouble. Keep coming, guys. Keep coming. Keep coming. I'll come back to the comments now that we've escaped most of the people. Oh, I can't even touch the screen without something happening. I don't want to touch anything. Let me just see what says. You're in Queensland, Brisbane. Oh yes, Ballarat, Victoria, Melbourne. Yeah, I thought it was Melbourne, neck of the woods. They're probably, oh, I don't know if I can say the word. I won't say it, I won't say it. I was going to say they're probably real thick Australian accents there, I'm guessing. Big dog. You know the type. Here's a girl, mate. That kind, yeah. Rio, today's your birthday. Rio, let's pick you a dog. Let's pick Chip. Chip! This little black dachshund is just for you, Rio. We're gonna give Chip a biscuit from Rio. It's her birthday. This is for you, buddy. That's from Rio. Yes. Here we go. I know. The rest of you are all looking a bit out of sorts because you didn't get. I know. You okay, B? You winning, buddy? I think you've been rolling as well, haven't you? Yes, you have. I know you have. Or more accents. Alright, well give me some and I'll try them. I'll try them. But like, they have to be politically correct, you know, people who can take a joke. No, not in there. Not in there. Good girls, good boy. Yeah, we have to be doing it with parts of the world that can poke fun at themselves, not parts of the world that are going to feel enraged by me. By me making more, poking fun at them. I bet you're glad you're watching and not having to dry these guys off after the walk. This is gonna be a mission. An absolute mission. Good Chipper, you're doing great, buddy. You're doing great. Oh, Canadian is a safe bet, but it's kind of tricky. I'm hoping I get saved here by the dogs doing something crazy, and then I can turn our attention to that. Whilst I build it up in my mind how to do the Canadian accent a bit more effectively than it is in my head. I don't know if I'm going to get there. Alright, next walk that Edith's on, which is Friday. Edith, I'll have a Canadian accent for you, I promise. I promise I will. Everyone's a bit growly, aren't they? This way. Here they go. They love each other. They really do. So in case you're wondering why Juno's barking, so she's asking Harris, it's part of the play-bow ritual. You've maybe heard of play-bow. A dog doing a play-bow. So that's when they stick their front legs out and their tail up in the air, their bum up in the air. And so their head goes nice and low and their bum goes high in the air. And it's a sign that you want to play with the other dog. And usually the other dog reciprocates with a play-bow also. And two dogs together, they can often do that within like a fraction of a second. They can both do a play-bow, mimic each other's body language, and then burst into play. But usually what comes before that is one of the dogs trying to engage the play in some way, and they usually ask first. It's very high manners, the height of high manners in dog behaviour, to ask first. So sometimes you might have dogs barking at you from across the street or the other side of the park and things like that. Barks don't mean go away. Barks don't mean I hate you. Sometimes barks can mean let's play. And this particular barking that she's doing, here she is here. She's desperate for him to burst into life, and so she can chase him, but he's only got so much in him. The big fella. He can only go for so long. Explosively like that. We'll walk like this all day. We'll hunt, we'll seek, we'll search, we'll use our nose all day like this, but explosively, we can't do that indefinitely. We can only do that for 15, 20, 30 seconds at a time, and then a good recovery time. And catch your breath. And convert some fat stores into energy and all that kind of thing. We're talking about anaerobic, whatever you call it, respiration. Is that the right word? Anyway, so you've only got so much energy in your muscles, and that's when you're running at that kind of top speed, that's what they're doing. Chip, Harris. Hi Adam. In case you're just joining us, anyone, I'm not touching my screen just now because it's covered in rain, and I touched it before and something happened, so sometimes I'm just going to leave things as they are. So yeah, so asking at the start of the play bow is very important, and then I'll just tell you a couple of other things. So the play bow usually takes place, they both of them pounce at each other with lowered heads and heightened tails, and if they both reciprocate and that can be within seconds, then usually what happens is play will commence, and in those instances, if they've both agreed to it, the chances of them deliberately hurting each other is basically zero. If they've both agreed to the terms of play, neither of them will hurt each other unless it's accidental. And then what happens then is that dogs that are not very well socialized, not very well educated on how to play, not very well you know, if they're not around other dogs very often, then they'll continue to try and play when the other dog is maybe hurt or frightened or taken aback, or maybe had the wind knocked out of them, and that would be classed as very poor etiquette. And good etiquette in that capacity would be, hang on 2 seconds, Chip, this way buddy, 30 seconds guys. So good etiquette would be if you make a mistake, if we crash into each other too hard, if we're chasing each other, if we nip too hard, or we trip and fall over and one of us gets hurt, the good etiquette is for you to have what's called a cut-off cue, a bit of a signal to the other dog to say, hang on, I need to catch my breath, and this isn't the end as long as we're not fighting with each other basically. And so if they do that, they're very likely to go back to playing again. There we go. I hope that's been useful. Right, we're back at the van. The van's up here. I'm going to have to get some of the dogs on the lead. There's a couple of them. Barney, let's finish off the session with Barney. Watch this, watch him hunker down like he doesn't want the walk to end. He knows exactly what's going on. He's going to lie down in front of me here. A couple of the dogs will come and lick his face. Hey buddy, you don't want this, do you? You don't want it to end. You don't want it to end. I know, sweetheart, good girl. Good girl. We're all doing so great. Well done, Chip. Well done. There we go. Harris coming in to check he's okay. And of course he's okay, he just doesn't want to finish up the session. But unfortunately it's that time again guys, so I'm going to bow out. If you have, I can spin the camera, I can show you how wet the screen is. If you have been following us along, please feel free to give the stream a like. That would really help the channel. And if I'm hoping you're still there. If you want to join us again, by all means hit that subscribe button. But I think before I get an electric shock off my phone, I'm going to bow out and see you guys on tomorrow's session. Alright, all the best. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry for the technical issues.